But okay, so Louis Vuitton reached out through email also, and I was in the car at TK. We were about to shoot some content, and
we was on the phone.
Yeah, we were on the phone, and an email had came across my screen, and it said Louis Vuitton 24 Pharrell Williams, and I was like, friend, you won't believe what I just got across. We were FaceTiming too.
I was
She was like, what? She was like, what? She was like, what is it now? Because we already freaked out about the Timberland thing. Right. So we was like, what is it now? Yeah. And so I was like, you won't believe. And I was like, I slowly scrolled down on the email. Like you know how it comes across your screen at the top?
Yeah.
I slowly, and I was like, it looked fake at first. I didn't think it was real because, like, Louis Vuitton, like,
right,
that's a big brand. Like, come on, like, they ain't about to mess with us. So it's just like, but it had a lot of like tuned details in there. It had everything Pharrell Williams. It had hairstylists. It had some big names in there. I was familiar with the stylists and stuff like that, and I was like, dang, this is real. And so I told her, and I was like, man, I could barely record the content. I could barely focus on what we were supposed to be doing that day, which was shooting with TK. So that's how the Louis Vuitton, that's how I found out.
So what do they say? What's in the email? What are they like?
So
obviously Pharrell was kind of like,
so it did have it did have Pharrell. Sorry, it did have Pharrell. Sorry to cut you off. It did have Pharrell in there, but it also had the exact names of the Cowboys that they wanted in the email.
Your Cowboys?
Yeah.
So they researched everything and they said, we want this one.
Yeah, they researched they on their own hands.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been telling the Cowboys, you know, watch what you do. Don't be reckless on Instagram. Don't be doing all XYZ because
y'all have people watching
y'all. And what's crazy, after I got the email, I went to go look up some of those people on Instagram, and they were already following Oklahoma Cowboys, and they were already following some of the Cowboys. I'm like, they were already following my personal page. I had no clue.
I went to go look. It was like 8 of y'all that they were following from Oklahoma Cowboys.
I was like, dang,
wow.
like, but it was
following for a while,
and watching for a while, and that's why I tell them, watch what you do because everything matters. And so, where was I at? Where were we at? I'm sorry.
Where does it go from the email, and what's in the email? Like,
so they have the exact names attached to the email, which was Taylor and Ronnie. They didn't have Kamal to attach to the email because Kamal is from California. But I know him from the Bill Pickett circuit. So they had Ronnie and Taylor, and so I called Taylor. I was like, bro, you won't believe this. Like, you won't believe this. Don't tell nobody yet, but you won't believe this. You can tell your mom and stuff, but like, you won't believe this. Louis Vuitton reached out, and he's like, he pauses for a second. He's like, what? Like, and then so that's where it goes from there.
And it's so crazy because you said whenever you were telling about your first photo shoot with the Cowboys, you started with Taylor.
Yeah.
And then now, where it's at now, it's like, it's crazy.
So again, like the Timberland one, did they
Taylor and Ronnie?
I'm about to say,
because me and Ronnie had shot
that's like
way
your first
before.
Cowboy you really ever shot is Ronnie.
Yeah. But it wasn't. Yeah, it was. But it wasn't like.
It wasn't a Cowboy shoot.
It wasn't a Cowboy shoot. It was just like just some random
set for you too.
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of stuff.
It was a bunch of stuff before with Ronnie too. Ronnie Davis.
So again, what happens? Like after you freaking out and calling everybody, like what's the process? Do they have to fly you out? Do they fly here? Like what was their vision? And obviously they named the guys they wanted.
Mm-hmm. So Narissa responds to the email, and we have to send them a walking video.
Okay.
So Taylor and Ronnie sends a walking video too on his own because in that email it did have Ronnie's name attached to it, but they also had emailed Ronnie too.
Yeah.
But they had no contact to Taylor, so
gotcha.
Yeah. So Ronnie sends over his walk video. Me and Taylor send over his walk video, and Taylor's walk video got a pushback. Okay. They was like, you know, he was dragging his feet. You know, he needed to pull. He had slides on too, which it was like we were just trying to. It was all a fast process, so we were trying to get the video as ASAP.
And for people listening, walking is in like walking down a catwalk.
Yeah, catwalking. We got pushed back from Calvin, which was from the agency that reached out also on behalf of Louis Vuitton, and so. I had Taylor do the walk video, and then he got pushed back, and then I showed up to their family photo shoot, and Taylor and them were doing a family photo shoot, and I had him do another walk video, and I sent that off, wait a couple weeks, didn't hear back from him, and I would say we didn't get the confirmation that we were going until 2 days before the fashion show.
What?
Yeah, nobody knows that.
Like
but
you're on like
yeah,
pins
remember
and
I was
needles.
like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I was like, man,
but I knew they were going.
Yeah.
I'm like, I knew. He always was like, friend, I haven't gotten the back. I'm like, y'all are going. Y'all
I haven't
going.
gotten nothing back. I was nervous. I was like, because it was like a big opportunity. I was like really wanting to happen and stuff like that. And so I was like, man, are they gonna email back? They didn't book the flight 2 days before the flight.
So just so I'm clear, this whole time they reach out, they say, we want Oklahoma Cowboys to walk in our fashion show, and the theme is cowboy theme that Pharrell's put together.
First, I didn't know
in Paris.
Yeah, I didn't know
Okay.
it. Yeah, I didn't know it was cowboy theme.
I don't think nobody knew.
Nobody knew it was cowboy.
Oh, they just want to see. They just wanted the character of Oklahoma Cowboy in quotes, like, and then you didn't know obviously what you were wearing because they were not going to send you what you were wearing because just in case you release it and that ruins their whole spread.
Right.
Yeah.
So 2 days before you get the email confirmation that like, boys, you're on a plane, let's go.
Yeah, all they had in the email was Pharrell's name, who the stylist was, who was the makeup, who was the nails, and it had 2 example videos of their previous shows.
Okay.
And Pharrell's bio. That's all it had, if I'm being for Pharrell. It didn't have no cowboy, it didn't have no inch of cowboy theme in there at all. They were just one of them.
So you round everyone up, no pun intended, and jump on a plane.
Yep.
To Paris.
Yep.
That's a long flight.
Yeah.
It's not,
actually, our flight.
Did you do Dallas direct to Paris?
Yeah, it was Dallas to Paris, and the flight was 8 hours.
Yeah.
Didn't feel that long. It didn't feel that long going because I was super excited to get there.
Yeah.
But coming back was, oh my gosh! I was like, I kept going to sleep, and I was like 6 hours. I woke up, it was like 6 hours. Like, man, get us there, get me home.
His phone was dead the whole way back too.
Yeah.
We were freaking. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god,
my phone was dead the whole way back.
I'm like, friend, you gonna go missing right now when all this is going on? Like, it's us to go up.
Yeah.
So, tell me what you land in Paris. You've got you, and then how many of you total is there? With like, how many did you go with total from here?
2.
Just the 2.
Oh well, Ronnie's on a separate flight.
Okay, so total, you're like there's just 4 of you there total.
Yeah, 4 of us total there. And so we're all staying at the hotel. We get off the flight. There's a guy waiting on us that takes us to the hotel. Louis Vuitton had us.
Kind of has the name in the card.
They had us.
5-star service.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, they had us feeling like kings, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
They had a little guy holding the thing, so he took us in a nice little car, and we went over to the hotel, and everything was like, I had no clue where we were going. My phone was barely working. Yeah. I mean, I knew the hotel, but this dude could literally kidnap us.
Right.
Because I had no clue. Our phones weren't working. Yeah. It was roaming. But I did have my roaming settings on, but it still was not, the data wasn't all the way there. So I couldn't call you easily if something did happen. But okay, so we get to the hotel and we're like, dang, we made it to Paris. They have to go to a fitting as soon as we get there at 12. And so we wait on Ronnie. Ronnie's kind of late Ronnie's already there at the hotel. Ronnie's late to his fitting, and we all get in a taxi. We go over to the fitting. We get dropped off where the fitting is, but it's at the Louis Vuitton headquarters. This place is nice, like top tier, nothing I've never seen before. Yeah. So we walk, like, there's a whole security process. We walked in, go through like these little security things, and go up the elevator. We on the thing that says LV and the like a mirror thing. It was nice. Like, then we get there, we walk in, get off the elevator, we walk in, and there's these 2 doors that say no social media. Yeah. This is fitting, like no phones. And so we go in, and the Cowboys, they do the fitting and stuff like that. And from there, that was the fitting. That was day 1. Yeah. It was the fitting, and that was the first time I got to see the clothes too. And so,
what was your reaction to the clothes first time? And I guess that's the first time you figure out.
So I didn't get to go. I didn't get to go all the way into the room. I did go in there for a brief second, and I did see something, but I didn't get to go in there because it was like strict. They were strict. Yeah. Everything was so strict. Yeah. And so if you were not walking in the show,
you need to go sit down.
Yeah, you need to go sit down. So I had to wait out in a little waiting area, but I did get to see a glimpse of something. There was a lot going on in that room. There was people sewing. There was people walking. There was clothes everywhere. It was a big room full of like everything. Yeah. But I did get to see a glimpse, but I had to wait. And so they came back out, and they were in there for a minute, strong minute. And they got to meet Pharrell and all that, and Pharrell was like very happy to meet them and honored to meet them. Like they were in there longer than any of the other models.
Sick.
So
Did you get to meet Pharrell?
no, I didn't get to meet Pharrell.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet Pharrell.
That's not fair.
I did see Pharrell. Me and Pharrell were in the same room,
Breathing the same air.
Yeah, we were saying that shaking hand. No, no.
So I'm sure the Cowboys.
But he was
losing their mind
honored
at
to
this
meet
time.
the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Honored.
I'm sure they're like losing their minds at this
That's what he was doing?
Right?
Yeah, he was like,
right?
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah. So that's day one.
that was day one.
Like, I assume at dinner that night, you guys are just like, what? Like, how are we here right
Like
now?
what?
Right?
Yeah.
And also
Like in
back
a dream.
Right. And also back to what you said right at the beginning of this was like, you did have a dream to go to New York and be in high fashion. Now you're in Paris doing this, right? Like,
Yeah.
With Cowboys.
with Cowboys.
Yeah.
And that's how, like, I love how, like, you know, people listening might not be into manifestation and all that. I think it's the cheat code. It's the greatest thing
And
ever.
then him going to get them Timberlands in
Exactly.
September, he had no.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
so
like full circle.
day two. Tell me about day two.
Dang, what was day two? There's been so much happening. Day two was rehearsal.
Okay.
Rehearsal. So they had to be there at a certain time, walk in.
And are you with them this time too? Or?
Yeah, I'm with them.
Yeah.
After this, I'm with them the whole entire time.
Yeah.
It was just that they
the
were
clothing.
just so strict about the clothing process and.
I get it.
Yeah. They just want to hold everything tight because you never know. Somebody might slip that on social media and then, it's over.
Millions of dollars have gone down the path.
Yeah. So after that rehearsal, let's see. I'm trying to think. So we take a taxi to rehearsal, and it's at the Louis Vuitton Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Day one was at the headquarters. It's at the foundation now, and so I walk up, and they're all setting up and stuff like that. We walk through like a little security person, and he's like, "Who are y'all with?" and stuff like that. So we show him our email, and they're setting up the red carpet, and we walk up to the building where they're having it at, and I'm just like I haven't even walked inside, but it's like a whole building that they built just for the fashion show.
Yeah.
Like a whole grounds. Like I'm like, dang, this is crazy. And so I walk in and I'm like, there's screens everywhere. It's like all the whole background that people have saw, that everyone has saw, that was LED screens.
Oh yeah, the desert.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff?
desert,
Okay.
that was all LED screen. So it was bright in there. And so it was like nice. I walk in, I'm like, dang, this is crazy. This is like the real deal. So the rehearsal goes on. So the Cowboys goes off with the crew behind stage. I'm sitting down in the little seats waiting on them to do their own thing. And they come out. I'm just like, dang, please let them do good. Please let them do good. They cannot mess this up. Like, this is serious. This is serious. But the first round they did come out, they did kind of mess it up. And I texted them. I was like, y'all, Kamal was a little head. Get it together. Like, please get it together. And so the second round they come out, they did good. But they keep going to rehearsals. And then the powwow group comes out. And I start texting you and your mom because I'm like, they would absolutely love this. Like, this is crazy. It was like so their heritage.
I was here in OKC crying.
Because I was sending them little
crying,
videos.
Tears of joy, tears of like, why can't I be there? And I was just like, just happy for him because I was seeing everything.
Yeah.
And the boys were posting. I was like, oh my gosh, this is
Because like the drums, I'm just like,
yeah, I'm Native American. I'm indigenous. So whenever I seen that it was like a thing about, because he told me, he was like, it's like they have like drummers here.
Sick.
Like
they
it's
have
a
real
powwow.
Native Americans there. Like, it looked like a powwow.
And it's crazy because we went out to this food place and we ran into this guy. He had noticed my jewelry. He was like, "Oh, what tribe are you? What tribe are you?" And we just started talking. And he was like, "My son
this is crazy.
is gonna be actually out in Paris, Louis Vuitton." They emailed him, and I'm like, "Shut up!"
Like, I have a friend who's
I'm like,
there
"Hold
right
on,
now." Yeah.
friend, listen to this." And they start talking or whatever. I don't even know how that call went. I just connected that. I'm like, "Look, y'all both gonna be there."
And so his son was in the powwow.
one of
group.
the-
one of the drummers.
One of the
Oklahoma
dancers
out
and
there.
drummers. So it was really cool.
Yeah. It was a full circle moment.
So it was
right
cool.
there.
I followed the boy. I think he was like 17, 18.
Yeah.
I followed him. So I was seeing it from the model's perspective.
Yeah.
Then I was going to see it from native indigenous people that have never been to Paris.
Right.
Then everybody's looking at them like, oh my gosh, there's Native Americans in Paris.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So the rehearsal, so I texted her and I texted her mom about videos of what was going on because the drummer thing, and then they come out. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, wow. Like I'm sitting there all by myself, but also there's a group of ladies I start talking to too. But in that moment, I'm just like, I almost start crying for a second because I'm just like, I couldn't believe that, you know, we were there. Like this is like the biggest stage of Fashion Week right now, and we were Paris Fashion
Louis
Week,
Vuitton, Paris.
and we were there. So I almost started crying. So after that, the boys came back.
He texted like, friend, I'm gonna cry. I'm like, I'm crying right now. I'm like, just cry.
She's like, it's okay to cry tears of joy.
It's okay.
Totally fine.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Such a huge.
That was rehearsal.
experience. Okay.
third day was crazy.
Was that the show day?
That was show day,
Tuesday?
and that was a lot. That was a lot. There's so much to talk about show day 3. That was the moment I actually got to see the first with a glimpse of what the clothes actually really looked like and on the boys. So it was like, I was like, dang, like everything was just, I was just shocked about
And
everything.
then you to see what the boys wore. They had, like, the
I
best
had no
stuff.
clue what they were wearing. I mean, they told me, but because when I went into the room for a glimpse second, I only could be in there for a second. I only didn't see anything. But they were in there for a second. They were doing walking. They had no videos, no phone, no pictures. So when the third day, when I got to see what they had on, I was just like, yeah, this is about to be real. And then I'm holding back from posting on social media.
Right.
And when a show starts and the show's over, I'm like, this has gotta go. This has gotta go. Like,
It was crazy how fast he was doing that.
I rip up real quick.
I'm like, who is helping him?
I was ripping up real quick. I was on my phone the whole entire time trying to get everything on social media because I'm really the only person that's really running the social media.
Oh yeah, he does it.
Everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, people don't realize how much work that takes.
Yeah, it does. During when they were doing the powwow dances, I was putting a reel together
Yeah, I know.
because they had to get on social media.
Yes, immediately. You can't be the last
Because
one
I kept
to post
seeing
it.
Complex and I kept seeing, I was like, oh, we gotta get
Because
something
you
else
couldn't
too.
be the last one to post the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Everybody was posting them. So
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Well, because it was such a shock to the rest of the world, right? No one ever thought about it being a cowboy thing.
And
right?
another thing is, nobody knew in Oklahoma that they were going.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Right?
The whole world didn't know, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, because no one thought that Pharrell was going to do a cowboy theme.
Nope.
Out of nowhere.
No.
Which is just
and when I saw the
amazing that you
clothes,
guys
I
are
was
part of
like,
that.
even you being, the indigenous part, I was like, Seanell is going to freak out
I
right now.
sure
Her and her
did.
mom, are going to
Me
freak
and my mom was
out.
on the phone screaming.
The buttons and
just
everything.
Everything.
It was just
little turquoise. The details was amazing. They did so good.
When I saw it for the first time, I was like, man, I didn't know what to think. I was like,
And they included the cult, they included real people that were in what the brand was inspired by.
Yeah.
They called the Cowboys. They called the drummers from, I don't even know what state they was from, but I know there was some from Oklahoma.
I think they were from Utah.
Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah.
Was it Lakota?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. It's crazy. But even the designs on the bags, a lot of the things that were designed with Native American, they didn't just go do that. They had Native American artists to design that
So
and
good. The
be a
details
part of it.
incredible,
So
right?
it was amazing. It was great to see for Oklahoma Cowboys because this is my friend and I'm a part of something so big. And then for just being indigenous, to see indigenous people in Paris being showcased on a huge Louis Vuitton Paris platform. It was big. It was 2 wins.
And then Pharrell put Taylor in the best outfit.
Was that the
That's
red
what I
one?
said. I'm
It
like,
was the red one.
Taylor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the reel now and I'm just that
Yeah.
red,
Yes. I
Hey,
loved
during
all
the
of them,
show-
but the Taylors was just the one that stood out.
During the show, I was so nervous too. I was like, man, just please let them do good. Please let them do good. It was
the world stage.
yeah,
right?
it was live.
Please don't fumble.
Please don't fumble. Please don't make Oklahoma Cowboys look bad. It was just dang.
They look like real models.
They walked out.
They did their
I will
thing.
say, during rehearsal, Ronnie, props to Ronnie, he looked like the real deal.
Yeah.
He was looking like the real.
Even in rehearsal?
Yeah, even in rehearsal, he was killing it. I was like, bro, you killing it right now. You killing it. I was like, hey, you killed it.
I mean, tell me about the Cowboys. What's their day job? Like, what do they do? Like, this is.
So I know Kamal.
It's crazy that they just go, pick them to go, right? The story's nuts, but like, they have a day job as well, right?
Yeah.
For them, this is an insane experience, but sadly, they don't get to do this.
Yeah. Kamal works at a car dealership, and then he runs with the Bill Pickett circuit and does Cowboy stuff. Ronnie does everything. He does a lot of Cowboy stuff. He's like a handyman. He's Cowboy. I mean, I know he works on this ranch. He does a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Taylor, he actually is he's working to be a veterinarian.
Yeah.
And so
just three normal dudes.
That's so cute.
Right.
Yeah. He graduated to be a veterinarian at OSU.
Yeah.
So
brilliant.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what they were going through, what you're all going through, like you're there.
Yeah.
Tell me about like just outside of just going to coffee in Paris with three Cowboys. Like, how was that perceived?
what was it again? I'm sorry.
What was the reaction to just general people in Paris when you three, you walk down the road, you're dressed in your cowboy gear, you're just kind of going to get coffee, you're going to get dinner or something. Like, how was that? Because they don't have Cowboys in Paris.
Right. They're shocked.
Yeah.
They're looking at us like, whoa, what are y'all doing here? Who are you? Like, everybody's looking at us like, oh my gosh, like black cowboy, like Cowboys, but black Cowboys, like I've never seen this before.
Because Cowboys, like if you went up there and you had a hat on, they'd be like, oh wow, a cowboy, what?
Yeah.
But y'all black and y'all are Cowboys, and you got dreads and you got all this. It was just so many different levels. And then Ronnie looks like a Native American cowboy too, as well. So it's just like different colors of Cowboys. They were like, wow.
Yeah, I know when we were
just imagine. Even in videos you sent me, you could just see people in the background.
Yeah. Did anyone stop you for photos?
Not that I agree. I think so, not
just taking photos of you instead.
Maybe them.
Yeah, maybe them. Yeah.
But no one's like, hey.
People were stopping to get our social media though.
That's good.
Yeah. So because I remember we went into one store and they were like looking at them. And I was like, "Do you guys have Instagram?" They were telling them that they were Cowboys and like they was like rodeo. So I will say when we were talking to people, everybody doesn't know where Oklahoma is.
Yeah. No, they have
no clue.
Zero idea.
We have to mention Texas.
Yeah. You just say.
And they're thinking when we say Texas, they're thinking like back in the day.
Yeah.
Shooting, shooting. That's what they thought about. Yeah,
like revolver guns. Like
So they have never heard of Oklahoma.
Nope.
No,
they're clueless where Oklahoma is, so they're shocked.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're thinking like lasso, like riding on a horse.
They're thinking Clint Eastwood.
Maybe not right now, but maybe, I don't know. Right. A couple years back, you would tell somebody you're from California, you're from Oklahoma. They think you're out in the country living on a farm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, Oklahoma's not all like that, but we are a country.
So no one everybody because we were talking to everybody, but nobody that we ran into that they were like, Oklahoma?
Right.
Where's that at?
Yeah.
Where's that on the map?
Tell me about any after parties you guys get invited to. Like, what's the vibe after the show gets done?
After the show, we all go back to the hotel and we change.
Get a little wild in Paris?
Yeah.
It's a good spot to go on a night out.
Yeah, we went to this club and we were with
I don't know, you won't put this in there. Y'all can cut it out if you want to, but he like, friend, they don't want to go home. They got to be up early.
Oh, yeah.
They was in the club at 4 a.m.
No, put that in there. Put that in there. Yeah, we were at the club and I was getting irritated because they had to go to the show the next day and we had to be at the show.
And you need to be well rested. You want to look tired as a model.
You want to know what time we had to be at the show for show day?
Probably 6 a.m.
It was 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
And they had to be there all the way until we left like 10.
12
at night?
Yeah.
8 a.m. to 10 at night?
Yeah, and they wanted
a 14-hour day.
But the night before, we were at the club hanging out, and they were... we were there until like 4 or 5 a.m. Yeah. And Marissa's texting us like, have y'all at the hotel yet? Are y'all at the hotel yet? And I'm texting her irritated. I'm like, bro, we need to go. We need to go because these dudes are going to be so tired and I don't want them to like mess up tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So, but they killed it.
I was just like, Francis, they never been in Paris.
This might never ever happen.
They never been to a club in Paris. Like, let them live it up. They're going to kill it tomorrow regardless. They know where they got to be.
Right.
So I was like,
I was irritated.
I know. gotta understand, he's in manager mode.
Exactly.
He's not letting up. He does not play. Like, he's always in business manager mode. Yeah.
It's a huge opportunity.
It is.
You need to be serious.
Yeah.
I get it.
And they're
Totally.
Like, we should have left the club a long time ago. We should never even went.
Nothing good happens after 1 a.m. You should be home.
Right.
4 or 5 a.m.
We're leaving the club and they're like, oh, let's go. Where are we going? I'm like, where are we going? The hotel. You have to be somewhere. I'm telling Shadir, I'm like, bro, it's like, we gotta go. He's looking at me like, I know.